everyone, and welcome to the Nightly News. I am your host, Alyssa Hildenbrandt. Let's get right into our first story. There was a huge protest all weekend long throughout our city of Greenville. Our Ella Grogan has more information on what happened.
Yes, Alyssa, Operation Save America hosted their annual leadership meeting here in Greenville for the second year in a row, and it caused quite the stir. 6 local groups gathered together to protect women's rights, starting at the Greenville Women's Health Center. They then moved to Travelers Rest to Baptist Church, where the situation was anything but civil.
No! Look at that. Look at that. You! No! You don't get yourself hurt down there.
Almost 100 people from both sides were engaged in verbal battles and did not respect personal boundaries.
Go home! Not today!
Local groups lined the clinic to protect the women who were seeking care. Jason Storms, the national director of Operation Save America, explains their reason for coming to Greenville.
So we believe that mothers and their children, beginning in the womb, are valuable, deserve to be loved, and deserve to be protected.
This planned event took place over 3 days, moving between different locations, including what locals are calling a fake clinic. For Nightly News, I'm Ella Grogan. Back to you, Alyssa.
As the Murdaugh trial is coming to a close, we sent our reporter Colin Glascott to find out what you guys think the verdict will be.
Do you think Alex Murdaugh will be convicted?
I don't think so. I think he definitely should be convicted, but I just don't think there's going to be enough evidence to make that happen.
So do you think Alex Murdaugh will be convicted?
I don't think he will, honestly, but I think, he should be, but I don't know if there's enough evidence to convict him.
Do you think Alex Murdaugh will be convicted?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's just there's so much pressure on the jury from the media and outside sources, so he's definitely going to get convicted.
Yeah, I think he should. I know there's not a whole lot of evidence proving that he did do it, but I think there's enough.
So do you think Alex Murdaugh will be convicted?
I do think he will be convicted, but
why is that?
I think there's a lot of overwhelming evidence that points towards him, but I also think that he'll receive a light or reduced sentence because of his power.
Do you think Alex Murdaugh will be convicted?
I do.
And why do you think that?
I think he's being a little suspicious, and the Snapchat video is extra suspicious. I also think since he's a white man in power, he thinks he's going to get away with it.
Closing arguments have been going on the past 2 days. The jury is beginning their deliberation, and we will find out if the jury agrees with all of you as soon as the verdict is in. Today in Greenville County, homelessness plagues thousands of individuals. Thankfully, the Greenville Homeless Alliance strives to unify the county around ending the issue. Colin Glascott met with the Greenville Homeless Alliance to learn more.
More than 3,200 men, women, and children are experiencing homelessness in Greenville County. We sat down with the coordinator of the Greenville Homeless Alliance.
Today we strive to connect our policymakers and the community to ignite change around ending homelessness here, specifically in Greenville County. For all these cross-sector partners, we're looking at homelessness from these different lenses, and together we believe we'll come up with sustainable solutions.
And what would you say to a person who encounters a homeless individual? What would be the best way to interact with that person?
We would encourage you to treat each person with dignity. First begin by asking their name and engage in a conversation, and you can better understand the kind of help the person might need. And we have a whole page on our website called Get Help, and we encourage people to pull that up, offer resources that are listed there to connect someone so that they can end this experience of homelessness by getting connected with the resources right here.
Thank you, Colin, for that insight. To learn more about how you can help, visit their website, Greenville Homes for All. I bet you all have noticed the construction going on in the North Village. Well, even if you haven't, there are major renovations taking place. Here's Poritzky with that story.
That is right, Alyssa. Construction began on August 15th of last year, and they've already finished one building. There is one more in progress. I spoke to the Associate VP of Facilities, Jeff Fredersen, to find out more.
We just finished North Village D in December, and students moved in January. And now we're doing Building E, which will finish up in May. And then this summer we got G and H. We'll do 2 renovations. And so the plan going forward is two buildings will be taken down in the summer, and then 1 each semester. And so we should finish in the summer of
2025. Fredersen also tells me that they have some planned renovations for the pavilion next to G. They plan to add a restroom, better lighting, a sound system, and more. These apartments that have been completely renovated include new flooring, lighting, furniture, appliances, and more. The balconies and patios have now been turned into sunrooms. Furman says natural light was one of the most requested new features for these apartments.
I think the new apartments are a much needed improvement in North Village. I love the sunroom. It's way more spacious. My roommates and I love to study in here and have the sun just shine on us. The kitchen is much nicer, and we love the new modern feel.
2 buildings will be done this summer, and 1 building will be done each semester after that. This is a very big project which will hopefully have all the buildings renovated by the end of 2025.
Thanks, Elijah. Those apartments look gorgeous. In addition to the North Village renovations, the Soho renovations have begun after being delayed a year. You should start to see fencing around campus later next week. We have breaking news for you now. In the Alex Murdaugh trial, late Thursday evening, after less than 3 hours of deliberation, the jury found Alex guilty on all charges. Friday morning, Judge Clifton Newman sentenced Murdaugh to 2 life sentences for the murder of his wife Maggie and his son Paul. These sentences are to be served consecutively, meaning one after the other. The judge did not tack on any more time for the weapons charge. He did say in court that he expects appeals, but for now, Alex Murdaugh will be incarcerated for the rest of his life per the sentencing. As you all may have known, this past week, the Environmental Council put on an event called the Eco Fair. Our Lindsay Capps went to check it out.
That's right, the Eco Fair had 30 local vendors that came onto campus, all selling sustainable goods such as stuffed animals or little pillows that are all handmade. Jackson Lehman, president of the Furman Bee Club, was one of the vendors serving up honey at the event.
We're selling things from baked goods to our product, which is honey, to clothes and anything that you can think of. Most of the products today are going to be sold from people that have made them or have created them themselves. A lot of these products are going to be made with sustainable materials or using sustainable practices to make those products.
Items like these are not only adorable decor, but they are also sustainable for the environment. One vendor at the Eco Fair seemed particularly passionate about her small business.
My name is Nicole, and my small business is called Eco-Friendly Fits, and it's considered eco-friendly because it's actually upcycling. So what I do is I go to thrift stores, most of the time it's Goodwill, and I find unique pieces that are most of the time plain, and then I upcycle them by adding embroidery. So I embroider, it's just me and my needle and thread, it's no machine or anything, but here's an example of one.
The Environmental Council's Eco Fair was a huge success this year, bringing in lots of attention to sustainability programs here on campus. Reporting for Nightly News, I'm Lindsay Capps.
Thanks, Lindsay. It is so great to see so many people engaging with sustainability on campus. In support of the Zeta Tau Alpha Foundation, Furman's Lambda Nu chapter will be hosting an all-male pageant event called Big Man on Campus on March 16th in McAllister Auditorium. Contestants will compete by fundraising, showcasing their talents, modeling bras, and answering interview questions. All proceeds go to Zeta's national philanthropy, breast cancer education and awareness. The winner will be chosen by a panel of Furman students and faculty and will receive the privilege of calling himself Big Man on Campus, as well as money to donate to the charity of his choice. World Speech Day is an annual event dedicated to celebrating speeches and speech making through live public speaking events across the world. Furman will be hosting World Speech Day on March 17th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Joseph Vaughn Plaza, where students and faculty will be delivering public speeches and celebrating individual ideas. If you would like to give a speech, scan the QR code on the screen to sign up. Up next, Michael Davis spoke with Taryn Marks about her experience being the first Black woman to graduate from Furman with a degree in percussion performance.
Our music department has taken steps to encourage diversity, and Taryn Marks is a trailblazer for women of color to study percussion performance here at Furman.
It feels like I always have this weight. I mean, I've always had this weight. And it's like not even as a Black person, but it's just a mixed person in general, because at the end of the day, this is what that matters. It doesn't matter if I tell people, oh, I'm mixed with Asian, I'm mixed with white. They're gonna be like, that's not what this looks like. And it's just like, there's some insecurities with being mixed in general. Especially with the mixed community, it's really, really hard to find your niche.
Thankfully, Taryn found the Furman Percussion Studio to follow her music studies. This is where she met a group of people that accepted her as more than a performer.
So I never feel uncomfortable when I'm around them. Like, I feel like we're like brothers and sisters. Like, yeah, we fight, we bicker, but at the end of the day, we're going to be there for each other.
Director of Bands Dr. Sue Samuels spoke on the challenges that female percussionists face to feel in tune with their industry.
The percussion world has also been dominated by men. So for Taryn to have been a female percussionist growing up in middle school and high school is pretty significant, and it speaks to her independence and her strength and her desire to follow her heart instead of what society tells her that she should do. So that perspective, I think, is important. And then on top of that, being a woman of color at a university like Furman is pretty unique, and she is groundbreaking.
Our music department believes it is their forte to encourage diversity for the students.
I think that Furman needs to be a place that says that it's okay to be whoever you are and come here and be an excellent student, an excellent musician. It makes us all better. It opens up our world to the reality of life outside of the Furman bubble.
Moving forward, Taryn is auditioning to multiple graduate programs in hopes to continue her percussion studies.
One more grad audition, y'all. I've done 5. I figure out around this week when I get in.
Being the first can be difficult, but Taryn is hitting the right note and hoping to inspire others to follow in her footsteps. From McAllister Auditorium, I'm Michael Davis. Alyssa, back to you.
Thanks, Michael. Let's hope she makes it into her dream school. If you want to see Taryn and the rest of our talented musicians perform, visit the Bands tab under Furman's official website. Coming up in sports, Ella Grogan explains what's on the line for our basketball teams, upcoming games, and some impressive scores. Ella?
Thanks, Alyssa. Yes, we have some exciting things coming up. But first, let's talk about some honors some of our very own basketball players received just last week. Congratulations to Jalen Slauson for being named the SoCon Player of the Year. He averaged 15.7 points per game, 3.4 assists, and 7.8 rebounds. Slauson wasn't the only player recognized. His teammate Mike Bothwell was named SoCon First Team All-Conference, and Ben Vanderwall landed on the SoCon All-Freshman team. Huge congratulations to these talented players. March is finally here, and our basketball teams are gearing up for all the madness to happen in Asheville. For our men's team, Furman clinched the 1 seed, something they have not done since the early 90s. As you can see, the 1 seed puts Furman on the other side of the bracket from Samford and UNCG, the 2 and 3 seed. This grants Furman the easiest road to the championship. Furman will play on Saturday at noon against the winner of Citadel versus Mercer game. Furman has to win 3 games in a row to go dancing in the NCAA tournament. Be sure to tune in or travel to the games if you are in need of spring break plans. Next, let's talk about our ladies. There are also 2 standout players from the regular season. On the women's side, Grace Van Rye made second team with 13.2 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, and shot 51% from the field, putting her in the top 10 in the league in all 3 of these categories. Her teammate freshman Jalen Acker was honored with making the all-freshman team as well. Very exciting honors for these women. Looking forward to the SoCon tournament. For our women, Furman is sitting at the 7th seed with a tough matchup against the 2 seed Chattanooga. Tip-off is Thursday at 3:30 p.m. If the Dins can outlast the Mocs, they will face the winner of ETSU versus Samford. The story of the tournament is to win 3 games in a row. Anyone can come out on top. Let's hope the Dins get hot and shock the league. Track had a huge weekend at the SoCon Championship this past weekend. We have a few wins we wanted to share with you. On the first day, the women's DMR team took the gold and beat their record with a time of 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Senior Abigail Robertson claimed first place in her 3,000-meter race with a time of 9 minutes and 26 seconds. On the men's side, Carson Williams also took first place for the 3,000-meter, posting a time of 8 minutes and 22 seconds. This is his second consecutive title grab as a sophomore. His teammate was not far behind him, taking third place with a time of 8 minutes and 26 seconds. Finally, the men's DMR team claimed the title with a time of 9 minutes and 56 seconds. Congratulations on a great day 1. Day 2 had just as much excitement, as Dylan Shoebury had a SoCon meet record in the men's 5,000 meter with a time of 13 minutes and 54 seconds, with his teammates following right behind him, Adam Bosler, who finished second with a time of 14 minutes and 15 seconds. After his big day the day before, Carson Williams got the gold in the men's with a time of 4 minutes and 5 seconds. On the ladies' side, Megan Marvin won the women's 800 meter for the 3rd consecutive season, and Abigail Robertson took the title of the 5,000 meter. Congratulations to our incredible track team. Join us in wishing a huge congratulations to our incredible athletics for an amazing weekend. Let's take a look at last week's scores for softball. The Paladins are on a 3-game drought after losing to Mississippi State 6-5, Louisiana Tech 3-7, and Mississippi State again 0-4. We'll see how Furman responds next week. Moving over to women's tennis, Furman lost to Tulsa 1-4 and Yale to 1-4. For the men, the Dins fell to Georgia Southern 1-4 and Gardner-Webb 1-6. While many of us are going home for spring break, our men's tennis team is traveling on a Texas tour to face Baylor on Sunday at 7. After that, Furman meets the University of Texas San Antonio on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Our women's team is traveling on to California to face Cal State on Monday at 5 p.m. After that, Furman takes on San Diego State for a Wednesday game at 5 p.m. Our softball team will regroup at the Campbell Invitational from March 2nd through March 5th. If you are in the area, go out and support these teams. Lots of exciting things to update you on when we return from spring break, so be sure to tune in. With Nightly News Sports, I'm Ella Grogan. Back to you, Alyssa.
Thanks, Ella. Now let's see how some of you are getting in a relaxing mood. Paladin Peer Support, a group for students who need to talk to someone, helped you get in the relaxing mood for spring break after your full week of midterms. If you need to get in contact with Paladin Peer Support, email them at ppsfurman@gmail.com or DM them on their Instagram. That's all we have for you tonight. Thank you for watching this week's episode of the Nightly News. I am your host, Alyssa Hildenbrandt. Have a safe spring break, and we will see you when we get back.